For millennia, people across the globe have reported alarming animal behaviors in the run-up to natural disasters. It is said that animals can sense impending danger, sending warning signals to people of the catastrophes that are yet to come. Recently, the falling of hundreds of blackbirds from the sky in Mexico, the bizarre shift in the moving pattern of animals toward high land, the excessive beaching of the whales, and a lot of strange changes in animal behavior across the globe are said to hint towards something very big and bad that is about to happen. Join us today as we tell you about this strange change in the behavior of millions of animals, the reason behind their restlessness, and what is about to happen very soon. Recently, a security camera caught the moment in northern Mexico when a flock of migratory birds descended on the houses like a cloud of black smoke. The footage was shot in Chihuahua, roughly 230 miles south of El Paso, Texas, and featured a flock of yellow-headed blackbirds crashing to the ground in unison under unexplained circumstances. While many of the birds that were headed south from Canada, where they had spent the winter, recovered from the fall and flew away, dozens of them were dead and did not move. The exact cause of the event remains unclear, but experts said the flock was most likely flushed from above by a predatory bird swooping down to make a catch. An animal expert, as reported by El Heraldo de Chihuahua, speculated that the high levels of pollution caused by the use of wood-burning heaters, agrochemicals, and cold temperatures could be to blame for the incident. It was also speculated that the birds had been killed by electricity while perched on power lines. Some people on social media suggested that it was due to 5G technology. But Dr. Richard Broughton, an ecologist with the UK Centre for Ecology and Hydrology, said that although he could not see a raptor in the footage, he was 99% sure a predatory bird caused it. The birds could have been driven downward in a tight spiral by a predator, with those flying lower being forced to crash into buildings or the ground by those flying higher. A similar event happened in 2011 during New Year's Eve in Arkansas, and similar reports streamed in from Louisiana, Sweden, and elsewhere. Hundreds more dead birds descended on Louisiana, Tennessee, and Kentucky, and scores of crow-like birds croaked in Sweden. Add in 100,000 fish that washed ashore in Arkansas, and it all added to a doomsday scenario. At any given time, there are at least 10 billion birds in North America, and there could be as much as 20 billion, and almost half die each year due to natural causes. That's why scientists argue that bird deaths in flight are nothing to worry about because they occur frequently. And while such events are not a rare occurrence, some experts believe the reason behind such behavior is weather alerts like high-altitude hail or lightning. But what if there is something more to this? What if this is a sign of some man-made disaster, a new strain of bird flu, or perhaps one of the signs of the end of the world? The ancient Romans believed birds could foretell the future if read and understood properly, much like tea leaves in a Hogwarts divination lesson. According to Douglas Jacobson, a professor of church history and theology in Messiah College in Grantham, Pennsylvania, the auspice would interpret the movements of a flock of starlings swooping through the sky like a school of fish. The Romans even grabbed some low flyers and cut them open to examine their internal organs. It is also said that anything that's in the sky that's unusual or comes out of the sky that's unusual seems to have the potential to be interpreted as a sign from God. In the Bible, some of the signs of the world are explained in Ezekiel 38:20, which says, "The fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the beasts of the field, every creature that moves along the ground, and all the people on the face of the earth will tremble at my presence. The mountains will be overturned, the cliffs will crumble, and every wall will fall to the ground." So far, we have more than 10,000 dead fish and 3,000 dead birds, and the earth is trembling in Indiana, of all places. The ecosystem is being affected, and it's not just half of the world's bird species declining, it's much more. Concentrations of marine animal populations have been shifting away from the equator and toward the poles during the past century. Many of these marine species are fleeing from the water toward land, and these movements could wreak havoc on food webs and disturb the whole ecosystem. There has also been a rapid increase in the washing up of whales, dolphins, and other marine animals on beaches around the world. Both living and non-living organisms can be blown ashore by strong winds and experience what is known as beaching or stranding. There are occasions when a large number of marine animals beach themselves at once, a phenomenon known as mass beaching, and other times when a particular area experiences an unusually high stranding rate. Since 1990, the Zoological Society of London's Crustacean Strandings Investigation Programme, CSIP, has recorded over 12,000 stranded crustaceans in the United Kingdom. Notable cases such as the stranding of over 300 sei whales in the Patagonia region of southern Chile in 2015 and the series of beaked whales that washed ashore in Guam between 2007 and 2019 demonstrate the global scope of this problem. A beached whale could be sick or injured, senile, lost, unable to feed, or otherwise compromised, for example, experiencing difficult labor or simply old. But the excessive beaching in the last couple of years is because human activities like fishing, pollution, ship strikes, and much more are responsible for many of the injuries and subsequent deaths that lead to strandings. But how the beachings are increasing with every passing year is certainly alarming for scientists. Now, if you have heard about the Dead Sea, which is one of the most mesmerizing natural phenomena of the world, located between the border of Jordan and Israel, aside from some microorganisms and algae, this saltwater lake is completely devoid of life. No seaweed, fish, or other creatures are found in or around its turquoise waters. But recently, Israeli photojournalist Noam Bedin has reported sightings of marine life in small sinkholes around the Dead Sea and growing vegetation. Photos released by the Dead Sea Revival Project show tiny fish swimming in water that is reportedly from the highly salinated body of water. It has also reported evidence of a biblical miracle coming true. The Bible states that after the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, the land was turned into a barren wasteland, the same area as the Dead Sea is now, but it was prophesied that life would return to the land again, with fish in abundance in the water. And now the end-of-the-world prophecies of Ezekiel are being fulfilled. In 2004, a tsunami triggered by a 9.1 magnitude undersea quake off Indonesia decimated coastal communities around the Indian Ocean, killing at least 225,000 people across a dozen countries. The huge death toll was partly caused by many communities receiving no warning. Local man-made early warning systems such as tidal and earthquake sensors failed to raise any clear alert. Many sensors were out of action due to maintenance issues, while many coastal areas lacked any tsunami siren warning systems. Haphazard communication also failed to provide warnings, with many text messages failing to reach mobiles in threatened areas or going unread. Yet in the minutes and hours before surging walls of water up to 9 meters high smashed through coastlines, some animals seemed to sense impending peril and make efforts to flee. According to eyewitness accounts, elephants ran for higher ground, flamingos abandoned low-lying nesting areas, and dogs refused to go outdoors. In the coastal village of Bangkoi in Thailand, locals reported a herd of buffalo by the beach suddenly pricking their ears, gazing out to sea, then stampeding to the top of a nearby hill a few minutes before the tsunami struck. Animals are said to have a sixth sense that can sense danger, resulting in changes in their behavior. Recently, another eerie footage of a huge flock of sheep walking in a circle for 12 straight days in China surfaced. The video posted on Twitter earlier in the month of November baffled people across the globe. The footage shows dozens of sheep walking clockwise in a nearly perfect circle on a farm in Inner Mongolia. While most scientists claim that it might be due to a bacterial disease called listeriosis, also known as circling disease, or even if that's not the case, there could be a natural reason behind the animal's striking behavior. This has still unnerved and mystified people around the world. While the owner of the farm, Ms. Mayo, had no idea why her flock had started marching in a circle, according to some people on social media, it is time to be prepared for the return of Christ, as the days are numbered and that one should not ignore the signs, as science is not real. People are also saying animals can communicate what they feel to humans, and whatever is happening with the shape needs to be looked at as the animal's intuition about something about to happen. There is a lot going on in the world right now. Shifts are being seen in the behavior of birds, fishes, worms, elephants, cows, and many other animals of the world. While there is a perfectly scientific explanation in most cases, signs are something big and maybe apocalyptic may happen, and it's time for the human race to be prepared to face what is yet to come.